Good afternoon, Ospreys. You're watching Nest News, live from the Student Union. I'm Austin Thielen, and coming up on today's show, a child has died at a South Florida beach, wellness complex ribbon-cutting ceremony, the OzFest budget release, and a sports and your weekly weather update. So stay tuned and enjoy the show. A young girl was buried alive Tuesday when a deep hole she was digging with a little boy collapsed on them both at a South Florida beach, authorities said. National spokesperson for the American Lifeguard Association, Wyatt Werniff, told GMA that sand can be just as dangerous as lightning. We hear a lot about rip currents and lightning and things like that, but this is nonetheless dangerous and should be included in the warning systems, Werniff said. He also said sand on the beaches, unlike some hill areas or inland areas, it moves very easily. When you start digging a hole, it'll fill itself up very quickly. According to the Associated Press, emergency crews responded at around 3 p.m. to Lauderdale by the sea when they found the boy, who was about 8 years old, buried up to his chest in the sand. The girl, who was with him, was about 7 years old and was completely buried in the sand underneath the boy. The hole was about 5 or 6 feet deep when the collapse happened. Rescuers used support boards to keep more sand from collapsing in on them as they used shovels to dig the children out. Both children were then rushed to Broward Health Medical Center in Fort Lauderdale, where the girl was later pronounced dead, according to King. The boy was hospitalized in stable condition and is expected to recover. This past Wednesday, the UNF Wellness Complex held a ribbon-cutting ceremony for the Dottie Dorian Fitness Center renovations that happened over winter break. These changes include new flooring, additional squat racks, and more. Here's reporter David Green and Spinnaker Radio's Caceres on more details.
Hey guys, my name is David Green with Spinnaker TV. I am here in front of the UNF Wellness Center. Today we're going to be covering the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Dottie Dorian Fitness Center renovations.
Students come and go. SG leadership comes and goes. Directors, VPs come and go. 49-year-old teenagers with oversized beards. And lots of stories come and go, but physical, tangible fruits of our efforts remain. Beautiful facilities with life-changing opportunities. It's the cumulative effect of many, many decisions over years and even generations that start with casual conversations while sweating to solve problems. Thank you.
Thank you. There's one person. If it weren't for that person, we would not be here today. It is my very good friend, Dottie. She really had this inspiring ideas to start this. Your caring for our student, Dottie, is unbelievable. Thank you for everything you've done for women, students, but for all our students, and thank you for inspiring us.
Can you just tell us a little bit about what just happened here currently?
What happened today is really important for us. It's transformational, timely, relevant, and impactful. We just got the ribbon on a major renovation of our wellness center. Student success is at the heart of everything we do. When we talk about student success, yes, the classroom and what we do and how we teach and everything is important, but the mental well-being and the physical well-being is as important, and that's why this is so important for our students, but also for our faculty and staff, because we need to take care of our faculty and staff so that they can take care of our students. So this is for our people.
For more information about the renovations, be sure to check out UNF Spinnaker's website. Until then, I'm David Green signing off.
And now to Annette for your weekly weather forecast.
Good afternoon, Ospreys, and welcome to your weekly weather report. Today is supposed to be overcast and rainy with a high average temperature of 70 degrees, while also have slight humidity. These early showers aren't expected to be more than a light drizzle, as this light rain may develop into clear skies later tonight with temperatures dipping back into low 50s. Now, looking into the weekend, we'll have beautiful sunny skies with highs of 70 and lows of 42 degrees. Saturday and Sunday, we'll have 0% chance of rain. We'll see this trend of good weather carry on into the week. We'll see a high spike of 80 degrees on Wednesday, and by Thursday, we'll see a possible chance of rain. But all in all, this week should have clear skies as we start to get into warmer weather with highs of 70s and lows increasing into the 50s. Now, that's all the weather I have for you today, Ospreys. But remember, as temperatures increase and we head into warmer weather, to keep an eye on the humidity levels. If you're planning on flat ironing your hair, make sure to use heat protection spray. Also, make sure to stay updated on all things Spinnaker for more weather updates. Now let's turn back to the studio for our next news.
Thanks, Annette. And now we'll be right back after a few quick messages from Spinnaker.
This is Tikka Bowl and Tacos, an Indian and Mexican fusion restaurant located at Tapestry Park in St. John's, Jacksonville.
They have a cozy atmosphere, friendly staff, and a diverse menu that will satisfy all appetites.
Their menu blends creativity and tradition with plates like paneer biryani, tikka masala wings, burritos, bowls, and naan churros.
So come with your friends and enjoy at Tikka Bowls and Tacos in Tapestry Park.
Hey there, Ospreys. The new digital magazine is out right now. This DEI edition magazine is covering the recent DEI ban on college campuses passed by the Florida Board of Education. Check out this magazine to see how the ban affects our campus through programs phasing out and centers closing at unfspinnaker.com. Just click on the magazine tab and it'll be the first thing you see. Also, don't forget to check out our socials at UNF Spinnaker on all platforms for more updates.
Do you want a live shout out in the middle of the student union? Spinnaker Radio creates content on all of our platforms like Instagram, Twitter, Threads, and Snapchat. We'll put out a poll on one of our platforms and all you have to do is answer. Our top commenter will get a shout out live on 95.5 FM WSKR Jacksonville Spinnaker Radio, which plays in the student union every day. We'll play that shout out at different times throughout the day all week long. So if you want the shout out, answer our polls. And be sure to tune in on 95.5 FM WSKR Jacksonville Spinnaker Radio, dedicated.
The first U.S. touchdown on the moon in more than 50 years happened yesterday. A private lander, along with aid from NASA, touched down on the moon, but managed just a weak signal. However, flight controllers scrambled to gain better contact and regained. According to the Associated Press, despite the spotty communication, Intuitive Machines, the company that built and managed the craft, confirmed that it had landed upright. It did not provide any additional details, including whether the lander had reached its intended destination near the moon's south pole. The company ended its live webcast soon after identifying a lone weak signal from the landing. Here's Professor Jack Hewitt with more information.
I know this was a nail biter, but we are on the surface and we are transmitting, and welcome to the moon.
The interesting part about this is that now it's
back on the surface for the first time since NASA's famed Apollo moonwalkers.
The interesting part about this is that now it's a commercial company that's responsible for managing and landing on the moon, and that was pretty historic. So there might be like lunar ice there. Some water on the moon would be a really great discovery and a great resource for future missions. I think it's a nice step in continued progress towards returning to the moon and maybe in your lifetimes going to Mars.
T-Pain and Flo Milli performed at UNF's homecoming concert, OzFest, at the beginning of the month, and Spinnaker recently reviewed a copy of their contract. Flo Milli was paid $150,000 for her 60-minute performance, but T-Pain, who was the headliner, was paid $145,000 for the same amount of time. This means OzFest cost a total of $295,000 this year. Now, UNF has gotten bigger artists and increased its budget each year. Last year's concert with Young Gravy as the headliner cost $200,000, and Don Tolliver the year before was $165,000 in 2022. And now, let's go to Angel for your weekly sports update.
What's up, Ospreys? Angel here with your sports update for the week. We have a little bit to cover, so let's get into it. Men's basketball traveled to Kennesaw State, where a very intense game was played. The game was a lot of back and forth, with the lead changing 21 times in total. The game ended with the Ospreys barely beating the Owls 82-81. This enabled the men's basketball team to clinch an ASUN playoff berth. Women's basketball traveled to JU for their second River City Rumble of the season. The Ospreys started off strong, leading in the first two quarters. However, the Dolphins found a way to come back and win the game 60-73. This puts the hunt for the SunTrust Barrel at 6-4 with UNF up. Last night, the women's basketball team played here at the UNF Arena against the Queens, North Carolina Royals. The game was a really close game, even though by half, the Royals were up by a decent bit. The third quarter comeback was there for the Ospreys, but the Ospreys fell short, losing 72-77. The University of Florida Gators traveled to UNF over the week to take on both the baseball and softball teams. 4 games were played in total, with the first game for each sport either breaking or almost breaking attendance records. One of the special things that happened during the baseball game was that the first pitch was thrown by Sheila Parrington, widow of former UNF baseball coach Tim Parrington, who passed away recently last year. The UNF baseball team also announced a scholarship in his honor that will be available to baseball players. Through both the games, the number 3 ranked Gators proceeded to beat the Ospreys 10-0 the first game and 14-3 the second game. Softball played later the same day against UF also. The first softball game against UF ended up being the second most attendance at a softball game to date. The softball team, however, ended up losing 10-0 and then 14-0, but fought hard regardless of what the score shows. And coming up today and this weekend, beach volleyball started their season against the JU Dolphins at the JU tournament this weekend. Here at UNF, softball plays against the Iowa Hawkeyes while the baseball team plays against Yale. Also tonight, River City Rumble number 2 for the men's basketball team at JU. Women's and men's soccer continues their spring scrimmages here at Hodges Stadium, playing against UCF for men's and USF for women's. Make sure to go and watch some sports games this weekend because this weekend is jam-packed with sports. That's all I have for you today, Ospreys. See you next week for your sports update. Swoop!
And that's just about all we have for you today, Ospreys. Remember, consider donating to college radio at UNF through the link in the description below. And as always, for all things Spinnaker, check out our website at unfspinnaker.com. Also, make sure to check us out on our Instagram at UNFSpinnaker, and check out the rest of our YouTube for more content. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Austin Thielen. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week on Spinnaker's Nest News.